Supreme Court of the United States ruled today that President Barack Obama's health care law is constitutional. First of all, let me just say that the mandate is unconstitutional. That is a fact. It is not my opinion. Under the 10th Amendment to the Constitution, the federal government does not have the right to force things upon states unless it involves interstate commerce. And as it is, we don't allow health care to be purchased across state lines. Therefore, this is out of the federal government's jurisdiction. The law is unconstitutional. The court, it was really a question of whether the court would agree. Now, the rest of the law, whether you like the rest of the law or not, it is still debatable. It's really the opinion of each individual. I have my opinion, you have yours, about whether it's constitutional or not. But the individual mandate is unconstitutional. That is a fact. I happen to agree with that fact, but it is a fact that it's unconstitutional under the 10th Amendment, and also you can't just go and buy people health insurance. But the Supreme Court made a horrible ruling today. The 5 justices that voted in favor of upholding the law show that they are a group of social engineers who are not strict constructionists and have lack of an understanding of our Constitution and law. It is the job of the judiciary to check the other branches of government. They don't necessarily have to understand, they should be independent of public opinion. It's not the job of the judiciary to understand politics or to recognize what some of our values are, but it is their job to recognize what the law and the Constitution is. And these 5 justices obviously lack a basic understanding of that. This is disgraceful. Let me just say that John Roberts, the Chief Justice, is a total and utter embarrassment to our country. I had respect for the guy, but he's an utter embarrassment to our country, and he will go down in history as one of the worst judges, Supreme Court Chief Justices, actually probably the worst. There has not been a worse ruling, probably since the 1800s, and I am serious. I cannot think of one that is worse from the United States Supreme Court since the 1890s. John Roberts is an utter embarrassment. He's the worst, amongst the worst Chief Justices in our nation's history, and now nobody's going to like it because the left still hates him because of Citizens United, and now the right and the center, because the center also opposes the health care law, are going to hate him, and even some of the right wing of the left are going to hate him now because of Obamacare. He's an utter embarrassment. We shouldn't really talk about him to anybody who comes here from out of our country, because John Roberts has a lack of understanding of the Constitution, is a total and utter embarrassment to our country. This law is, the entire law itself, we can debate its constitutionality, but the mandate is clearly unconstitutional. The court made the wrong choice, and unfortunately, I feel the court has now lost a lot of credibility going forward. So it's sad that an institution that is supposed to be so well respected has now just completely ignored existing law. But we still have the opportunity, and today it becomes more important to give Speaker John Boehner a larger majority in the Congress, have a Republican majority, and elect Mitt Romney as President of the United States so we can repeal the law. Because this law it's bad policy, yes, but it's also bad law. And it is going to now take legislative action to repeal the bill. It is very sad and unfortunate that the Democrats, especially President Obama and Nancy Pelosi, no longer care about what's in the best interest of the country. They care about socially engineering the country to be more like Europe. And I mean this sincerely. That is what their intention is. It's unfortunate, and the only way we're going to stop this is repealing the law through the legislative process and having President Mitt Romney sign it into law. I'm glad that Mitt Romney wants to grant a waiver to Obamacare on his first day in office. And today, I think, first of all, it's more important to elect Republicans just for this issue in itself. Look, I'm a registered Republican. I tend to agree with the party. I don't think the party's perfect, but I think for the sake of our country, it's for the good of the country, it really is important that we elect the Republicans again if we want to get our country moving again. Democrats have just fallen so far out of touch and have, they have manipulated the country. They have driven the country deeper into recession. They don't care about the country anymore. They don't care about ordinary men and women and anybody. They seem to just care about a few, not the majority. But it's more important to elect Mitt Romney president. I think that this actually helps Mitt Romney because the majority of Americans will disagree with the court factually on the mandate. Some Americans will Americans will disagree with them on the law itself. I think this helps Mitt Romney, and I think this helps the Republicans. I hope I'm right because, unfortunately, the Supreme Court of the United States, in a vote of look, again, I want to just say that to the 4 justices who voted to uphold the Constitution, thank you, and I sincerely mean that. But to the 5 who didn't, I think you owe the country an apology at some point. I think that there are 2 things I think that happen. Either they just don't understand the Constitution, or they're afraid of Barack Obama. Because let me tell you, Barack Obama tried to intimidate the Supreme Court. President Obama has no respect for the Constitution. He has no understanding of law, which is really sad because he was a law professor. I think that the president doesn't really understand the struggles of ordinary people, and this law will further hurt ordinary Americans more than anybody else. And I think it's a shame that the president doesn't care about the working people of this country.